grouping. We'll discuss more about input, but let's talk about grouping tags. Okay, so what really happens in HTML is that you can group your content into a single unit. So you can divide your body into divisions. Okay, and for that you have div tag. Right, so basically consider if you have a lot of HTML to write, right? So in that case you can basically group your HTML content into multiple divisions so that it gives you a better readability, right? So for example, we have div 2, right? And what we can do is we can make this form as part of div 1. Right, so this will make more sense when we will introduce CSS to this training. So what really happens, let's consider you have two divisions, right? Now you can format these two divisions with the same CSS or a different CSS according to your requirement. So if you are able to group the content into one division, right, then you can apply the same CSS to that complete division. You don't have to write the CSS for each and every element you are using inside that div. And you can create as many divisions as you want. Any questions? Any doubt?
Any live example from a page?
So in page, for example, if I open, let's say again, the hindu.com, right? Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Right. So if you can see over here, what I've done is I've opened a hindu.com site, right? So this is the news site, right? Now you can see they have created multiple divisions out of here, right? And the main reason to create these divisions is to apply CSS in each division, right? So they have created nested divisions. You can have nested divisions, and you can have parallel divisions as well. So for example, you can create two parallel divs as well. The difference between these is different CSS basically, right? So this could be one division, this could be one division. You can divide your page into multiple divisions so that you can group the content. You can group the same type of content under a single division and apply CSS to each division. Does it make sense? Another grouping tag which we can use is span, right? So span is basically a same line element that is used to provide a different feel for a special word. For example, we have a paragraph, right? So in this paragraph, you have a lot of content. Let's say you have okay. So for example, you have all this, right? Now you want to group special content in this particular paragraph, right? So you want to use only, so this is one paragraph, it must be displaying on your HTML page. Now if you want to highlight this particular line, if you only want to use a single API only on the client, right? So what you can do is, one thing is you can use the division, but as soon as you use the divisions, it will divide your page. But in this case, a division is really not required because it is just one single line. So that in that case, you can go with span. Right, so nothing would be changed for the user until you apply some CSS to this span tag, right? So span tag element is a generic inline container for inline elements and content. It used to group elements for styling purposes, right? by using the class or ID attributes. A better way to use it when no other semantic element is available. So for example, if this was the paragraph and you didn't want to use any other thing, you can simply go ahead and use span, right? So the difference between span and div is that div tag is used in HTML to make divisions of the content, while span tag is used to make the elements in the inline way, right? Or you can use the span tag as a generic inline element when no other element is available.
So what it actually does, that div divides it, and
It basically helps us to identify this particular line. So for example, I will go and open my DOM, right? So let's say I have this paragraph. Now in this paragraph, I have this particular line, right? So I can go ahead in this line and add some color, right? So I'm able to change the color of this text only because I have introduced one span element over here.
got it. Perfect example.
Right. So if you want to give the different styling to some part of the existing element, then you can go ahead and use span.
So it will not apply to the whole paragraph, instead to the particular
Correct.
line.
Correct.
Good.
Let's say if I apply to everything to a paragraph, right? So right, so everything is bold, but I wanted only this text to be red, so only this text is red because of this span. Don't worry about this CSS. We will talk about how I'm changing red and black and bold everything in CSS class, right? In divisions, everything is applied to a division. For example, this is my division and I'm again changing my color, right?
Yes, I see.
Does it make sense, everyone? Anyone?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so create divisions and span in your existing HTML file. Just see where we can use span, where we can use div. So yesterday the assignment was to create the Facebook sign up page. Now see where we can create a div and where we can create a span. Okay, so can you share your screen so that I can have a look?
Yeah. Yeah, here you see, we have this, and then I divide it. Here is the div, right?
Can you open your HTML file so that I can?
Yeah.
So what you have done, you have created one division of your paragraph.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Yeah. And then within paragraph, I wrote, when you sign up to Facebook, make sure you put span, your nice picture. So now if I go back here, click right, inspect, and then in the style, right? Now I specific to the
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
This is perfect. So basically the reason I gave this assignment is to make you comfortable all in identifying where you can put a division and where you can go ahead with the span. Can you see my screen? So you can use the inline styling as of now. So style color red, right? So what it will do is it will permanently make your text as red over here. So let me close this because I had changed it from here. But now let me refresh the page, right? So it is possible because I have put the style in my span tag.
Got it. Got it.
So I'll ping you if you want to put it. All right.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
How many colors are assigned in this style? I mean,
You can
if
assign
we
any
name,
color which exists.
okay, if we name any color, it will appear on the screen.
So there is color coding available. That was a different topic which I had to cover. Now let me discuss that also. So color codes in HTML. All right. So these are the list of all the colors you can give in your CSS. Right. These are all the list of colors. Right. So there are hexa based coding as well. For example, this is the hexacode base coding. For example, if I open my particular thing, right? So I will do it over here only. And right now I have given it like red, but sometimes your color is not as simple as red. You have to make a different color. So what you have to do is, this is the hexacode of red, right? So what you can go ahead and choose a different color from here, right? And you can observe that the hexacode mapping is changing for each and every color. So if you want a different shade of red, you will just go ahead and change the color from it and copy this particular thing and make it over here, right? Or Talash, if you want to do it in the direct code, you can go to your file and say your color is this.
Mhm.
Right? So what will happen? It will make your text like of that color. Right? So this is red, but this is possible. This is not exact red. This is some of the color code of red, right? So there are multiple color codes available. You can just explore from the inspect element. That's the best way to explore color codings in HTML, right? If you'll see, this is a hexacode decimal mapping for each color available. And there are color pickers also available on the internet. So you can go ahead and choose any color picker from here. Or you can open that W3 school. So these are the color codes available. So for every color, there is a hexacode mapping available. You can go ahead and use it. So you can see there are different shades of red available, not even one single red, right? For example, if you want to see which color is this, so you can go ahead and just put over like this in this particular thing, and I think it will give you which color is this. This is this color code, right? So you can use this color picker. This is a very good solution. You can go ahead and inspect element. That is again a good solution from here, right? So wherever you want, you can go and choose your colors.
Amazing.
If you're really not sure about the color, you can just go to the date, select for the color, play with this dot, right? And you will come to know, okay, which color you want to choose. For example, I want to choose this particular color. So just, I will pick this particular thing up and put it in my code. Right? And just refresh it. You can see the color is changed. And how to open a picker? Just put any color and click on this square. Put any color. For example, I had put gray. And you can see the list of colors as well from here. Right? So let's say gray. So I had put gray or dark gray, right? You can see it's a dark gray, but obviously it is not showing. Now you can open the picker and just change the color from here. Does it make sense? If you want to go with a different color code, you can just choose that color code from here and play around it. Right?
Yes.
Any questions? Any doubt?
No.
Right. Okay. So let me come to a different topic. Again, a very interesting topic called as lists in HTML. Okay. So what are lists in HTML? There are basically three kinds of lists which HTML provides. One is your unordered list, another one is your ordered list, and third one is your definition list. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll put everything in comment. Right. So I'm talking about a list. Okay. So let me create a division. Right. And
Shalin, can you open a new file, for instance? So we will see stuff from scratch. That will be more interesting for us.
okay. In that case also I will simply copy file, new file. All right. And I will remove everything. Okay. So this is the basic code which comes in every HTML file, which is your basic tags, HTML tag, body tag, head tag, and your. So here I will simply change it, my title to lists. Right. And I will simply say lists.html and will go in my folder structure and run this particular file. Right. So as of now, it is empty. Right. Now we are going to talk about lists. So I'll create a division. I will try to use all the HTML elements which we have learned till now. Right. It will make more sense. So this is a div. And in this div, I will simply say, let's say h3. Here I will say types of lists. Right. So types of list. Now there are three types of lists which HTML provides. So one is your unordered list, right? So first one is your unordered list. So I will simply write the code of unordered list first of all. So this is your called as unordered list. Okay. So UL stands for unordered list, right? And you have an open tag for unordered and a closing tag for unordered. Now inside the list, basically list is what? List is this particular thing. 1, Shalin, 2, Talash, 3, Furkan, right? So this is your ordered list. But if I change it to like this is my unordered list because I don't know the number over here. Does it make sense, everyone? Difference between ordered and unordered is clear. Ordered when you give a number to your element, unordered when you don't give a number to your element. Okay, so in that unordered list you have a something called as for your line item. So you have a UL that is unordered list. Inside UL you have a line item, and in line item you can simply say unordered list or whatever content you want to display. So there are three types of list. So I've created 3 line item, and first one is ordered list, second one is unordered list, third one is definition list. Right. And if I'll go back to my HTML and see, you can see a list is created with your dots. This is called as unordered list. And one is your ordered list, right? So this I explained your what was that? Unordered. In ordered, you have to simply change UL to OL. That's the only difference. And it will become your ordered list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So for every line item, it will increase your number automatically.
So the LI stands for line.
Line item.
Line item. Okay. Sir, can we use the tag BR in here instead of LI?
BR. No, BR is used for breaking line. This is list, right? So lists
Mhm.
are different than VR. Then in ordered list, you can use an attribute called as type. For example, here I want to display only like it is displaying 1 2 3 4, but I want to display like A B C D, an ordered list with numbering like A B C D. So I will simply say type as A, right? So what will happen, that it will give my numbering in A B C D E F G H I, right? If I'll give capital A, then it will give capital A B C D E F G H I as the order. If I give any Roman number in type, then I think that is how you make a Roman number over here. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that will also be a nice way to think, like if we are looking for something, how can we, yeah, oops, you did it.
See, so this is how you can give the Roman numbering in your ordered list. So from type, you can define A, capital A Roman number, or a capital Roman number, right? So for example, this was my small Roman numbers, but like let's change to capital Roman numbers, right? So basically, you can define your type as values. One stands for normal numbering. Small a stands for ABCD in small letters. Capital A Roman number in small, a Roman number in caps. So these many types are available in your ordered list.
Good.
Any questions, anyone?
No, sir.
Anyone? Any question?
Nope.
Okay. Now the third type of lists is definition list. Right? So I will first of all change it to my DL, right? So unordered is UL, ordered, I will write it over here only. Okay. So this is my definition list. So definition is basically divided into DT and DD. DT tag is defines the term. DD defines each term, describes each term. So one is like, so I will simply say DT over here, right? So DT and I'll close the DT tag. Let me go. So here, what I have done, I have created a simple definition list. In definition list, I have defined DT, that is defining the term. Now I have to describe each term, right? So I will simply say DD, that is describing the term, right? So this is, for this, we can use UL, right? Then you can use OL, and the definition to this would be, you can use DL for this. All right. So you can see here I've defined the term and here I'm describing the term. This is your definition list. Right. So how many list tag you have discovered till now? Right. So I will create another div and I will say list tags, right? So basically, if I talk about this, so you have covered one UL, right? Then you have covered OL, right? Then you have seen one LI, then you have seen one DL, then you have seen DT, and then you have seen DD. right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 texts you have read. So it is not showing in HTML because somehow it is incomplete, right?
Shalin, we set definition list, right? And
Yes,
then
yes.
inside that we specified the DL for the type is like 1. But here when
Type, oh sorry, my bad. Type is not required over here. There is no attribute called as type in DL.
yeah.
Type attribute is only for UL, OL. That is
Okay.
ordered list.
Yeah. So here I'm still having this concern of DT, right? This DL is definition list, right?
Yes,
Inside that you put DT, which is
yes.
the definition that we put, right?
Yeah, it is like defining the term.
Is it something like this is a little bit like kind of confusing me. Like I do see the order here that we have a div, we have a header 3, we have DL, and then we have DT and DD. DD describes that whatever we are
So you
describing.
can see the format difference, right? For example, if I'll simply change it to this. Right? So basically what you can see, I've written the code and still it is coming in a different form, right?
Mhm.
So it is like I'm giving an heading and it is like I'm defining what it really means,
Mhm.
right? So this is in a list order. I haven't used any break in order to change the line. I haven't give any space for this particular space it is showing over here, but it is because of this list tag, I'm able to see this kind of display on my UI.
Yeah, good, good.
So everyone, can you please make some list, an unordered list, an ordered list with the type as a Roman number, and then unordered list with the same list elements, right? I will open the example. So what I really want is I want to create a list ordered list with type as Roman number and then an unordered list with the same list elements. You can create a short list of countries. Is it done?
Yes.
So anyone would like to share the screen and show? Anyone?
Mustafa, go ahead. I don't want to share it this time.
Okay, so just a minute.
Perfect. Can you show the result?
Mhm.
Can you open your browser and open this classwork? Yeah. Perfect. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. So you can stop sharing. Okay. So next topic is very interesting. We are going to talk about hyperlinks in HTML. Right. Let me know my screen is visible. So what is hyperlink? Hyperlink is basically a link where you can just click and goes to a different site. Okay. So let's create one hyperlink first of all. So I will simply remove this. Okay, so how to define a hyperlink? A hyperlink is basically defined by a tag, right? So this particular tag is used to define the hyperlink. So I want to say visit W3 schools, right? This is the text I want to display in my hyperlink. So we will simply say visit W3 schools. But what I really want is when I click this particular visit W3 schools, I should redirect to W3 school site, right? So first of all, I will open the site so that I can copy the URL. So this is an URL. So URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator. So every site in the www dot is having a unique URL, right? So for example, for W3 schools, I have this URL. I will simply copy it and say in my a tag, there is an attribute called as href, and I'll simply say the href value is this particular URL, right? So we have a tag. Inside a tag, we have an href attribute, and in href attribute, you give the URL of the site you want to redirect. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I feel like a UI developer.
Already? That's great. So now if you'll see, if I click on this, the first of all, a hyperlink is created, right? href, as soon as you give the href, the color is blue and it is underlined, right? And whenever I'll click, I will be redirected to a W3 school site, right? Does it make sense? Anyone? Any questions?
No.
Okay, but let's see some more attributes in hyperlink, right? So this is basically opening my hyperlink in the same tab, right? I'm clicking, it is opening in the same tab. But what I really want, I want to change the tab of my hyperlink. What I want, whenever I am clicking on this particular thing, it should open in a new tab, right? This is what I want. Okay, so for that, you have to simply define an attribute called as target. Okay, and the value of target you have to give as blank. This is how you give a blank value to the target. So what this attribute and this value does, it will open your hyperlink in a new tab. So let me just refresh it. And whenever I'm clicking it, you can see a new tab is opened. Right? So nothing is changing in this particular DOM. A new tab altogether is opening just because of this target attribute.
You put underscore blank. Is this the?
Yeah, that's the syntax.
Okay.
That's the syntax. Right? So basically, what we have seen one HTML element called as A, and that HTML element has two attributes. One is href, one is target. If you remove the target, it will open the hyperlink in the same tab. If you put the target as blank, it will open the hyperlink in a different tab. So whatever is your requirement. Sometimes while developing a website, I want to open the website in the same tab, then I will not give target. If I really want to just open a site tab, then I will give target as blank. Right? Let's say I want to create one more hyperlink. So I will open. So this is without target. I will simply say visit W3 in the same tab. In different tab. Right? So you can do many things. For example, if you want to click on button and say send a mail, all right? This is, for example, A, and here you will give href and let's say mail to charlene021@gmail.com. Right, that's my mail ID. And here you simply say send email. Right? So what will happen? I will put BR tag so for a better visibility. Right. So this is clear. Now what really happens when I click on this send email? So you can see it is opening my default email altogether. And if I had selected this particular thing, for example, Google, it's a long process. I have to put all these addresses and everything. But the agenda of this was to give an user directly an option to send a mail, right? So it will automatically open your emails. So there is something called as JavaScript, right? So you can open the pop-ups as well in HTML. So I'll quickly show you the demo, but that's the JavaScript code I'm talking about. But let's say if you have a JavaScript href and you really want to say JavaScript alert, right? In this alert, you want to say hello. Click hello. All right. So once the user, okay, there is some issue in the syntax. Java script, the spelling was wrong. So you can see when I click this, it is opening a pop-up alert box hello. Right? So this is my JavaScript code. This particular thing is my JavaScript code. I'm just defining that I'm going to write my JavaScript code in my href tag.
Okay,
right?
it's also the, okay, got it.
So you can either give the hyperlink, you can give mail to, you can give execute your JavaScript, you can do anything in your href, right? Inside your a anchor tag. This is called as anchor tag, a tag or anchor tag. Next topic is images in HTML. Right? So I've commented this particular line of code. Now there is a tag called as, so in image tag, you can basically show any image on your web page, right? So for that, there is an attribute called as src. So what this src does is you can link a file which you want to display in your HTML page. So let me just download one random image from, or let's say HTML image from. So I will put it in the right folder. All right. So I've used this download.png and I want to display this download.png in my HTML page, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply go to my page. In the src, I will simply say src download.png and let me just open it. And you can see our image is displayed in your web page. Right?
Yeah.
Any questions? Any doubt?
No.
The download is the folder, the download folder, right?
Download is an image, right? So I've created this image, right, in my folder. So this is the image name. You can give any image name. It's the random image I have downloaded from internet, and I'm displaying this particular image.
Okay, so you downloaded it at the same folder, which is the files.
It contains your files, yes.
Okay.
So you have to place it in the same folder. You can place it in a different folder. You have to just change the path. So for example, I created one different folder. and call it as images, right? And I'm dragging my this to images, right? Now what you have to do is go to your src and change the path. So my path is images/download.png, right? Does it make sense? So what I've done, so it always takes your source from the same folder, from the current folder of the file. So the current folder is this HTML folder. And in this HTML folder, I want to go first of all inside images, and then I want to load this download.png. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does. One is that we got this image from we downloaded it into our local, and then we gave it the address where it's
so you can
located.
use any random image. It is just because I didn't have any image in my laptop. That's the reason I downloaded it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can give any image.
Yeah. Is there any other way that we can put a URL of an image directly from internet, and that will go inside it?
And guess what? That's my next topic. Okay. So for example, if you have any images in the internet available, right? So I will simply open one image. Or how to find an image.
Here, Shalin, I see here that mail needs to restart to update the force point plugin. Can you remove this?
Actually, I'm not able to remove this. I'll just drag it down. Okay. So if you want to give, okay, before URL, let me say I have an image, but for some reason it is not downloading. Maybe a name is incorrect, right? So let me just go and see. A broken link is displayed. A broken image is displayed, right? The reason is that name is not correct. Sometimes it happens, right? So you can give an alternate text, which is called as ALT, and alternate. So an alternate description of this image. This is showing an HTML icon, right? Okay. So what happened? So you can see alternate text is written over here. So ALT is used to describe your images, right? So sometimes what happens, your image gets broke and you can use, so that's the use case. You can use ALT in the correct way as well, right? For example, download. So ALT is not coming over here, right? But sometimes if your images breaks, then what you want to display a text instead of that image, and that text you can define in the attribute called as ALT. Does it make sense, everyone?
Yes, sir. Sir, I got a question. Sometimes the extensions of the files are hidden from, in my computer. So should I write PNG extension or GPG like
You have to
always?
identify the extension of your image. So you should see it in the properties or somewhere, right? But you should use the right extension.
Okay. Can't I write like just download without extension and the HTML?
No. I don't think so. You are able to. Let me just try it out. It won't work. Yeah, it won't work. You have to write the complete extension of the file, download.png. A file without extension does not exist. Either it's a text file, it's a PDF file, it's a PNG, it's a JPEG. Extension should always be there.
Okay, sir. So how many formats we can show in HTML? We can use it
All
in
the
here.
formats. All the formats.
Okay.
If you want to load the image, you can simply say this particular thing. This is not working. Okay, let me just try something else. I'm trying as a URL. Might be my URL is broken.
Yeah, maybe because yesterday I was also trying same stuff, and maybe they are one way or the other protected because of the privacy issues, the copyright issues.
Yeah.
Uh,
So generally you can give directly the absolute URL, relative URL, what kind of URL you have to just give it in SRC and it will display your image. There is no challenge over here, right? It might be because of some privacy, but you can directly give your path in this SRC. It can contain your absolute path, your relative path, your internet path, whatever path you want to give.
Okay, great. We will give it a try.
Right. So image syntax is clear that we have a img tag. Inside that img tag, we have two attributes. One is src and one is alt. Alt is also called as alternate text, right? So alternate texts come into the picture when for some reason your path is not loading, right? You can change the size of the image, but that's a part of CSS. So we will discuss when we will talk about CSS. We have seen how to load the files of a different folder. For example, I've created an images folder, and in that images folder, I've kept one file, and I'm just calling that images folder. You can show any kind of image. You can show a PNG image, JPEG image, GIF image, whatever image you want to show. Anyone, any questions?
No questions. If there is any specific assignment for us to put together, and what elements, what tags, and what attributes should be used in it.
So yeah, there is no specific question, but I really want to see the creativity of you people, right? So create a web page in such a way, a beautiful web page with the limited information available on HTML for you guys, and don't use anything outside whatever we have studied till now, right? Use everything which we have already studied. Don't copy paste from some internet to make it beautiful. Create a beautiful let's say a Facebook wall, right? Where you put some images, you put some paragraphs, you put some lists, right? So create a wall page.
Okay.
Use only those things which we have already covered.
Sure. Great. Yeah, thank you, Shalin. Yeah, bye, Shalin.
Bye bye. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, bye.